Hey Reggie, let me just start the video. Hey,
There you are. Hi. Good to
how are
see
you?
you. Great. How has your day been so far? Have you been in a
Busy,
busy
very
life?
busy. Yes, vShowcards is keeping me very busy, and we've got some very important developments going on at the moment. So
Exciting. And I
yeah,
hope we can talk about V-Show cards as well a
I
bit.
would love to. Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe before we dive into more details about you, your life, I'm giving a brief introduction about
Okay.
what you've done so far and who you are.
Okay.
So you're Darren Tassell. You are an actor, a producer, a casting director, and an entrepreneur. And you are also what we cannot see you right now, but you're quite tall, which is
Yes,
interesting because I'm quite short.
I'm
So
6'3". Yes,
yeah, so that's tall. That's about 1 meter 90, I think. And maybe because of that, but for sure not exclusively because of that, you often get cast into roles like the one of the hard man or wacky villain. But you have also been on comedy films, for example, the Best Giza, where you are the lead character. And in addition to that, you have also been on a Christmas commercial. You have been on stage in London's West End. You have been on set with Tom Cruise and Pierce Brosnan. And in addition to being on, let's say, Western film productions, you have also been on several Bollywood productions.
that's correct. Yes, all correct.
And in
Hey.
addition, yeah, in addition to all of that, you're also the co-founder, as you mentioned, of vShowcards, which is a casting website. And yeah, you before all of that, you were a graphic designer. You are a proud father of five and a grandfather of three, soon four, as I
Yeah,
understand.
soon four. Yes, yes.
And when is that going to happen?
About 4 months away.
4 months away.
Four
Okay.
months away, I'll have grandchild number four.
Okay, we would want to know about that.
Yeah.
And all the best already at this point. And you live with your family in London. So a very warm welcome to this conversation. We say many first conversations because we talk about first time, but also other life experiences that have taught us something or inspired us in a specific way. And I know you are a master of first time creations because you've had so many in your life.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe we go and dive a bit into your career, right? I mean, it's really interesting the many different hats you are wearing now and also over the many decades already of your life that you have been wearing. So, how maybe you can take us a bit on that journey, the transition, from the life you led a few years ago when you had a day job and you were a graphic designer. And then at some point, the switch happened into the film industry and what triggered that? How did it come about and how has that journey been for you?
Well, look, I started acting initially when I was 13 years old at a local theatre group called the London Bubble. And I was bitten by the bug, got the acting bug. I'd wanted to act. I knew that is all I wanted to do. I knew from very young that is all I wanted to do. Um, but obviously, I had children and I had a family to support, so I had to get a muggle job, as they call it, to pay the bills and to feed my family, obviously. So look, I had a good career as a graphic designer, a Mac operator, and then I was designing online ordering systems for a web to print company. So I'd go in, I'd obviously don a suit. I was also then promoted to technical sales because obviously I've got the gab, they call it. So I used to go in, don a suit, go into boardroom level, have a look at a company's infrastructure and how they order their stuff so far, and then design a system that each department can order their own, and it was all accounted, and the software was quite good. So it was looking at a disjointed process and then working out a way of streamlining the whole thing and automating as much as we can. So yeah, I had a long, good career at doing that. But I used to sit there looking out the window, daydreaming. I didn't want to be there. I wanted to be on a film set. So it actually come about how I got back into it because my cousin was starting a project and she needed some help. So I went and got involved. I dressed up as a soldier and played this character. And I just thought, oh, wow, this is what I missed. So, do you know what? I then signed up to an agency, a background agency, try to get a bit of experience on a film set. So, I was a background artist on The Foreigner with Pierce Brosnan and Jackie Chan, many other films as well, including with Rachel Weisz. And also joined an agency that supplied crew, stand-ins and stuff for big movies at Pinewood. So I worked with Tom Cruise as well there. I met him, worked with him. Absolutely incredible man. His energy levels are just through the roof. And if anyone wants to be an actor, just watch him work. He leaves nothing at all, on outside of the set. He gives everything he's got. And he is just a massive inspiration. So look, I got the bug. I started doing a bit of background work, and then I'm sitting there as a background artist, and I'm looking over there at all the actors, and I just think, look, you're in my seat. That's where I want to be. That is where I want to be. So, and back then, actors didn't really mix with the background artist or anything like that. And I saw it and it kind of, I struggled with it a bit because I'm such a people person. So I swore to myself, if I ever sit in that seat, I will treat every single person on that film set with the same love and respect as I treat the director. Everyone, whether you sweep the floor, whether you're a background artist, it doesn't matter. I will treat you with the same love and respect as I treat the director. And then I said, look, I've got to go for this. I've got the bug. I really have to go for this now. So I said to my missus, I said, look, so I'm going to quit my job and be an actor. And she was like, excuse me? And I was like, I'm going to quit my job and be an actor. She went, you're going to quit your job and be an extra? I said, no. I said, I needed to do that because I've got a strategy for everything and a plan for everything. So I said, look, I needed to be an extra because I needed to be comfortable on a film. When I stepped on a film set as an actor, I needed to be comfortable. So I went around a few film sets and watch and listen and understand how it all works. And then I said, right, yeah, I'm going to quit my job. And so I quit my job. I had an audition pretty much straight away through 3 rounds of auditions. This was for the Actimel Christmas commercial. European commercial. So through 3 rounds of auditions, I've never done an audition in my life. I didn't even know how to do an audition. So through 3 rounds of auditions, I beat 1,200 people and landed the role, and they flew me straight off to Copenhagen. And this was a month after quitting my job. So then my missus was like, okay, all right, I'll give you that one. And then I went for another audition and I got the role. Went for another audition, I got the role. Went for another audition, I got the role. And pre-COVID, I think I attended something like 30, 35 maybe auditions, and I won 27 of those jobs.
Wow.
So, yeah, so then all of a sudden my missus was like, okay, look, you might be onto something here. But then, every job I won, it just filled me with more confidence and more confidence and more confidence. So, yeah, I was turning up at these auditions. I wasn't nervous at all. This is my time. I've waited so long for these opportunities. I don't get nervous. This is my chance. This is my time. So I seize every opportunity I get.
That is fabulous. I mean, congratulations on that. Do you think that the decision to really step out of the other job you had kind of fueled it? That the focus you had on just acting afterwards?
That helped. That did help. Look, I ain't gonna lie. That my missus, we just had our last baby. My missus was desperate to get back to work. And she said, look, I'm desperate to go to work now. And I said, okay. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll stay at home and look after the children. And that's when I'm going to have a go at being an actor. So yeah, she went straight back to work. Karen, she's a fantastic lady. Absolutely, I'm very, very lucky and blessed to have her. She takes good care of us all while I'm off being an idiot somewhere.
You mean, yeah, so that's in that sense how it works, right? You have time at home where you're not on a film set, and then you are the family man. You are taking care of housework and children. But then when you're out, how does that work then? So because it's not in that sense stable and always the same routine, right?
No, it's
How do you
not. So
juggle
when I
that?
go away, it's kind of, again, look, Karen is fantastic. I drop her in the crap all the time. You know, I'm right. I'm off to go and shoot a movie for 3 weeks. Bye. So she then has to then juggle the kids and work and everything. Um, it's not easy. It's not easy. I'm not going to lie. You know, but we make it work. We make it work.
Yeah, if there's a way, always, right? That's what we sometimes
You
say.
have to find a way. Listen, if you've got a dream, you have to find a way to make it work. You know, and a lot of actors struggle with day jobs, finding something that can pay the bills, but also gives them time off to do acting. So
Mhm.
look, I'm very, very blessed in that situation.
And you're also creative, I would say, because you created your own business now also with vShowcards. You know, if we talk paying the bills and so on, what triggered that? Because there's obviously already casting websites out there. So what made you feel like there needs to be another one?
Um, look, I'm a thinker, me. I think my way through everything. And I do the same with this industry. I come on as an actor, and people would say to me, you're never going to make it as an actor. You know, it's all closed, it's too tough. And I'm like, watch me, watch me. So I'll watch how everyone else does it. And again, this maybe comes from my day job where I look at a disjointed process and go,
Mhm.
this can be streamlined, this could be better.
Yeah.
So I kind of then applied that to my acting career, and I said, right, I need to look at this disjointed process and find out how I can get ahead
Mhm.
doing
Mhm.
it a different way. So I looked at everything, and yeah, so I figured out a little way of doing it. I had my own website at the time. It was darrentassell.uk, and I dedicated a page on there to my acting, like to applying for jobs. So I created a page and I put headshots and this and that, and I thought, oh, okay, I can put a show reel, oh, and I can put some IMDb link, oh, and I can put this and I
Mhm.
can put that, and I was applying for jobs with it. I'd see a casting, so I'd send a link to my page on my website, and I'd get an instant response. Yes, yes, we'd love to see it. We'd love to see you. So come in an audition. I'd go in an audition and get the role. And it just seemed to be that this page on my website was generating a lot of interest in me. So I thought, do you know what? This is something that others could benefit from. And so I was playing around with the idea in my head for quite a while, and we launched an initial version called realtime.tv. But everything I had to design everything manually. Every time someone wanted a show card, I had to design it manually. And I said, look, if we're going to grow this, this isn't feasible
Mhm.
for me to do it manually. We've got to find a way of automating it. So I approached a team of developers. They told me it was going to be several £1,000s to have this thing made. I didn't have any money, and I just quit my job. Do you know what I mean? So, and then COVID started kicking in, and all the film sets were shutting down. And I said, right, this is my opportunity. I know I'm not going to be acting for at least 6 months. It turns out it was going to be a lot more than that.
Yeah.
So I said, look, I need to find the money. I sold my car, and I scraped together as much money as I could. I borrowed money, and then my business partner, who I'd starred in a couple of films with, I told him about the idea, and he said, listen, he said, I'm in. He says, I don't even know what you're talking about. He says, but I know if I invest in you, you're going to make this work. So he didn't really so much, Alex didn't really invest in the idea. He invested in me. So he gave me half the money, a few £1,000, and I just went off and got it created. And then slowly Alex became part of it and started to understand what we're doing and what it is all about. And yes, he's fully on board now, and it's the two of us, head into the wind, just going for it. And we've created something that's different from everything. I don't want to copy. I don't copy anyone. What I felt, what was already there, didn't work for me. I've been on
Mhm.
Spotlight for 7 years. I've never had a job from it. It's cost me over £1,000. So it's not working. And I then done a bit of research online, and I think something like 1,200 people replied to this survey I'd done. And out of that, it worked out 82% of Spotlight users don't earn enough money from Spotlight jobs to pay for their Spotlight profile. 82%. And they've got 90,000. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculously high. So I don't want to copy anyone. I've got my own ideas. I've got my own plans. I've got a way that works for me. So I've introduced multiple profiles on this, so you can target specific roles or genres. So I've got a hardman pro. Every user who joins vShowcards.com gets free profiles. Now, those free profiles, I've got a hardman profile, a comedy profile, and a drama profile. Mm-hmm. So if I see a casting for a hardman, the way it's normally done is send us your Spotlight link. But then Spotlight say you should have 8 photos, maybe a smiley one, a happy one. Mm-hmm. And then I thought, that doesn't sell me as anything. And I can get better results from this. And I used to work in direct mail as well. And if you tailor something to the person you're sending it to, you've got more chance of getting a response. Mm-hmm. So I started tailoring my CV. And so I had a hardman profile. Now, if I see a casting for a hardman, there's no point in sending my Spotlight. It doesn't sell me as a hardman. So my hardman profile is all hardman pictures. It's all hardman videos, everything. And when I see jobs for hardmen, I apply for those using my hardman profile, and I probably get auditions for 80 to 90% of the jobs I apply for.
It also makes the life of the casting directors easier, I suppose.
Absolutely, because I'm giving them what they're looking for, as opposed to photos that you then have to click in this link, click in that link, and try and find the hard man photos in amongst what they've sent you. And they sent you a link for this, link for that, link for this. But on vShowcards, it's one link, and it's everything about you that a casting director could possibly want to know. So you send it all in one link, so that it saves them time. They appreciate it because they're extremely busy. That they could have anything up to 5,000 people apply for a casting. So the more time you save them, the better it is. So yeah, look, it's working, and it's working for other people now. And we've slowly grown over the last 3 years. We've grown. We've got over 1,000 subscribers now. We've started developing an iPhone app now for vShowcards, which has got some even better features in it. I can't wait to release it all to you, to everyone.
When is that planned?
We're on a journey. We are on a journey to change this industry for us. And if I can change it for me, then I'm also changing it for many others. So, our number one rule is to be affordable. Because Spotlight, like I say, it's cost me well over probably 1,200 quid in those years, and I've never had anything from it. And if I'm not acting, I can't afford to pay for the profile. So it's tough. We know the struggles actors face because we're actors and we struggle too. Yeah. So we've come up with something that we can help them, and it's affordable. It's the cheapest one out there. It's £39 a year or $3.99 a month, which is less than a Starbucks coffee every month.
Yeah.
So look, it's affordable. Our number one rule is to be affordable. So when actors ain't working, they don't struggle to pay for the site and keep up with all the things that I was struggling with. And I still do struggle. Look, I've been running vShowcards for 3 years. Every single penny it has made has been put back into the business to make it bigger, to make it better, to make it faster, to bring more casting directors in, to get, it's so. In 3 years, I haven't taken a single penny from vShowcards, and I don't plan to. We've got a 5-year plan to build it up, and maybe when we get the numbers, then maybe I can take a modest wage from it. So, but look, I'm not money driven. I'm not money motivated in any sense.
Yeah, I think what comes through very clearly is your people focus, and also your experience with simplifying things for others, right? And not just going with the status quo, but also questioning and improving and having your own ways of doing things, and then asking if this can benefit others. Is there a date for that app to be released, an approximate date that you can
Well, we're actually just starting development on it now. Okay. We had to wait because we had some other big developments going on, which have now been released to the system. So yeah, look, now we're starting development on the app. It's probably it's going to be 4 to 6 months away because we want to get it right, and we want to add some amazing features to the app. And what we're trying to do is swing everything in the odds of the actor as well. giving them a better chance of securing work. We're very connected in Bollywood, in the British film industry as well. Or at least the independent film industry. And we're bringing all our contacts to vShowcards. Every time I'm casting a film, I then say to the directors, look, let me help you cast all the other roles through vShowcards. We've cast an international TV series. We cast a big movie called IC9. I was one of the leads in that. We cast probably, I don't know, 10 to 20 roles in that as well. So, and every time I've got quite a big profile in India now because of all the films I've done. So now I get a lot of work offers. I'm about to start a big horror film, which I didn't even have to audition for. They hired me on the strength of my other work. Some very big and famous films that have appeared in worldwide cinemas. So again, once I'm cast, I then speak to them and say, look, let's cast all the other British roles on vShowcards. So we're slowly growing. We're growing. We've got 1,000 subscribers now. We're pushing on. We're pushing on. And listen, we're never going to stop. We're never going to stop trying to change this industry. My business partner recently said to me, he said, but what about all these obstacles? He said, what obstacles? He says, I love the way you don't see obstacles. He says, but they're there. I said, listen, obstacles are there to weed out the weak. That's what obstacles are for. I'm going to smash through any obstacle you put in front of me. I don't acknowledge it's going to stop me. I don't have that in me. I don't see, whoa, this is going to be a problem. I have to stop. No, I'm going to go, whoa, look at that. And let's get through that one.
Is that part of your hard man role that also brought that out in you even more, maybe?
No, it's a determination. Look, I waited 30 years to start my acting career. There is nothing.
Now you're on fire. Yeah, very clear.
There is nothing that's going to stop me. And I'll tell you why. Because there's nothing that can stop me. I know where I'm going to be. I don't have a plan B. I don't have a plan B. If I give myself a plan B, I'm saying I may fail.
Yeah.
So I don't have a plan B. I have plan A. And do you know what? You get knocked over. You stand up, dust yourself off. You carry on plan A. There is no plan B. I'm not going to fail.
That would actually be one of my questions, because obviously it's not just easy moving forward, right? You mentioned struggles and we need to pay our bills and so on. So what helps you in these times? You mentioned it a bit now, there's no other plan. I mean, that's just where I'm headed. But are there any other strategies maybe that you consciously use in times of struggles or in moments of struggle?
Look, when you struggle, and everyone has these little voices in their head. Yeah. Everyone has those voices in their head. I have them too. But I ignore them. And that's the difference. That's the difference. When negativity starts to just edge its way in, maybe a little negative thought pops up, bang. No, cut that. No, there is no negativity. We're gonna succeed.
And I think you're probably also very busy. I mean, that can help as well, right? I mean, just keeping your focus on other things, not really having the time to focus on these nagging voices out there.
Yeah. I never sit here doing nothing. I've got housework to do. I've got children to take to school and pick up from school, and I've got a business to run. I've got a career to try and build. I don't have those moments of quietness where you just allow doubt to creep in. No, there is no doubt in my mind. No doubt at all. I am going to succeed, because I am not going to stop until I do. And no matter how many times I fall over, I'm going to carry on. And it has to be perseverance. You have to persevere through everything and believe in yourself. I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there.
And that's, I think, what people see in you, and then they invest in you, right? Like Alex, you mentioned, there's no doubt that you will get there.
Absolutely. People who know me know I'm driven like that. I know where I want to be. And you have to be a bit patient with yourself, because it's not going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you have to be patient with yourself and plan a year ahead and say, this year, this is what I want. And then you focus that year on getting those things that you want.
Do you think, if I may say so, I'm sure you understand what I say, and what I mean when I say getting into the industry at a bit of an older age than just young, fresh from school, can that also help with understanding these things, like patience, perseverance?
Well, look, I wanted, like I said, I said I wanted to be an actor from very, very young. I reckon if I tried it when I was 21, I probably wouldn't have succeeded. It took, through the job I was doing, I then became technical salesman. So I was donning a suit and going into boardrooms and presenting to big teams. So I had to do a little bit of training for that as well. So look, like the life experience I got in that time I was dreaming helped me become, I'm a more confident person now than I've ever been. And I want it more now than I ever did. Now is my time. I waited 30 years. Now is my time. But then look, people also say age counts against you. No, it doesn't. People say being working class, you won't make it because you're working class. Go away. Watch me make it. Watch me make it. There is nothing that's going to stop me. And your rumors or your self-doubts you're not going to project them onto me and give me reasons not to do it. No, you want to see a working class actor make it, effing watch me.
How about Bollywood? You say you're a thinker and you have your strategies. Has Bollywood been part of that strategy, or how did that come into your life?
Very much so. Very much so. Bollywood, I came across that by chance, actually. I'd done a big Chinese comedy feature film called Canon in Chinatown Canon. And that was very successful in China. And a couple of months later, I got an email from one of the actors I was filming with, and he said, look, there's a big Bollywood war film being shot, so get yourself down there. So I then contacted the casting director for that. He watched my work, and funnily enough, I just had the video back from the Actimel Christmas commercial, where in the Actimel Christmas commercial, I was the drill sergeant training Santa. Come on, move it. So it was a very similar role to the role they were trying to cast in the war film. The drill sergeant, the one who trains them and prepares them for war and then leads the charge through every battle. So it was a very similar role. So they saw my work and they said, yes, definitely, please come down and see us. So I went down to see them. I met the director and all the producers. And then 2 weeks later, I was on a film set shooting a big war film as the lead British actor.
Very nice.
And this was a huge Punjabi film starring Diljit Dosanjh and Yogaraj Singh and some absolutely incredible talents on there. So it was a fantastic opportunity, and it was the first time I've appeared in worldwide cinemas. So it was an incredible experience.
And then you got that bug as well, obviously, because you still continue in Bollywood productions as well. Do you see differences when you work with the, for example, Chinese movie industry or the Indian movie? Is that different from the Western? Is it a lot different?
Oh, it's very different. It's very different. You work on Hollywood films, big studio UK films, and everything is timed to perfection. They know what they're doing a week in advance, 2 weeks in advance. They know everything. So Bollywood, it's kind of, somehow they produce incredibly fantastic and beautiful films. But sometimes, I don't know how they do it. They turn up on set one day and go, right, what way the wind's blowing? Let's do this scene today. And there was a scene in Sajjan Singh Rangroot, the big war film, where we was all in the trench. And they said, right, where's the smoke machine? The SFX guy isn't turned up today. So what are we going to do for smoke? So they grab an armful of hay, throw it in the trench next to us and just light it. So we're actually in the trench going, and it's all real. It's all real.
I just wanted to say,
there are some huge differences, but it's a wonderfully bonkers journey that I absolutely love.
And I can see that. And
the people are just amazing, extremely talented, very loving and loyal. They just throw love at you. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience. It really is. And I'm very much a people person. I'm very affectionate, and I'm the same there. I turn up on a Bollywood set and I treat the guy who sweeps my floors with the same care and love that I treat the director. So people out there respond to that, and they love that. So they want to see me in more films. They want to be on film sets with me. So I'm getting more and more offers.
Is that probably part. Now it sounds when I say part of the strategy, but you understand what I mean, right? That this is one of the things that helps you market yourself, probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Look, you've got to be you want to work, and most of the work you get will be from people you've worked with before.
Yeah.
So you have to be that ray of sunshine that they want to work with again.
Yeah.
And when you become that ray of sunshine that brings something else to the set. I've done a film in India called Barefoot Warriors. It was a football film.
Mm-hmm.
And my very first day on set, I'm sitting in the vanity getting my costume on. And they're telling me how stressful it's been the last couple of weeks because the film's already been shooting for 6 weeks and the stress levels are increasing and everyone's getting... So I said, right, let's fix that one. So my very first day, I'm shooting in a football stadium and where I entered the stadium, I'm at the other end of the football pitch to where they're filming the scenes. So and the stadium is packed with supporters. So I'll walk on set and I just start dancing my way across the football pitch all the way. And I've never met the director. I've never met any of them. And this is my first day on set. So this is their first impression of me is this. They look up and they see me dancing my way across the football pitch. The fans are now going crazy, cheering. So I'm going, way, way. I'm being such an idiot all the way along. By the time I got there, they was all laughing and then the director said to me afterwards, he said, listen, I'm so glad you turned up. He said, it's been stressful and you've just come along and everyone is buzzing. Everyone is happy. Everyone is joyful again. So I was there for nearly 3 weeks and the whole time I had everyone enjoying their work again.
That's so nice and inspiring. But how do you keep your energy up? Where do you get the energy from?
Passion, my enthusiasm for the job that I love doing. How can I not be excited? Listen, look, this year I'm 50, but make no mistake, I am the biggest kid you will ever meet. I am the biggest kid. I can have fun at a bus stop. Honestly, I just enjoy life. I enjoy moments. I'm the youngest now I'll ever be again. So enjoy these moments. No, tomorrow is not promised to anyone. Enjoy today. Enjoy today. So my enthusiasm and my passion for the work I do is where my energy comes from. Because I get there and I'm like, let's go.
And is that probably, we hear that, right? That we lose play or playfulness when we transition from being children to adulthood. And that's probably what we see sometimes when we feel, people feel there's a certain stuckness that they love to play, right?
Listen, I don't plan on growing up. I have no plans to grow up. I am, Again, I've got 5 kids. I'm the biggest idiot. I'm the one walking down the street doing the funny walk, doing the fucking funny voices, I'm always doing something daft and crazy. I will happily in the middle of the shopping mall, I will happily lay on the floor and play with my kids.
And you've done that, that's been like this all the time or more since you've been in film?
No, all the time. That's me. That's my personality. I'm such an idiot. I just, people have said to me before, oh my God, I watched this film. Man, how do you do this? You are so talented. And I'm like, I'm not talented. I'm just a freaking idiot.
You, basically.
Just a big kid enjoying myself.
Yeah, that's very beautiful. And you also mentioned that you're still a big thinker also, right? That you think a lot. So that's maybe not the first thing we would think of when we think of children and playfulness. So how does this come together for you, and how and where do the emotions then come from? Because that's critical for acting as well, right? It's very...
Yeah, look, obviously if I'm playing a scene out and it's an emotional scene, then we can draw on experiences, we can draw on empathy, how I would feel in that situation. So playing emotional scenes, I can cry if I need to. I can play a loving role. Don't get me wrong, most of the roles I've played are hard men. But I've done a big Bollywood family film as well, where I married an Indian lady and she's trying to introduce me to her family. They all hate me, but by the end of the film, they all love me. Do you know what I mean? Because So, I love doing the emotional scenes. I'm such a I'm such an idiot. I can almost look. Whether if I'm playing a hard man, coming in, you want to some of that, or do you know what? If I'm being a nutty, wacky kids villain, it doesn't matter. I'm an idiot, and I do voices all day long, walking around in the front room on my own. You know, I'll do voices, I'll do characters, I'll do walks, I'll do a robot. Yeah. So look, I'm just an idiot, and I get to be an idiot all day long, and it's good practice. It's good practice for when I get to be an idiot and get paid for it, which is always
and I mean that's the best, of course. Who wouldn't want that? I mean that's how. Yeah. If we now also talk a bit about, this year has just started. We're still at the beginning. Is there any project that you're super excited about that you could briefly mention that you are working on for this year?
Yes, I've got. I'm about to start a big Bollywood film.
Yeah.
It's a horror film, and I play the ghost of an evil prison warden who murders and tortures people. So that's going to be fun. That's just going to
okay. If you say so.
Yes, no, that is going to be fun. Being the bad guy, you actually have more fun because they get to be where being the good guy, you're always kind of reserved and.
Yeah. I see.
So, and then I've got an action film coming up after that, where it's basically a group of hunters. They get people, give them money, and say, right, if you can make it out of this forest, you keep the money. But then the hunters then hunt them. So that's a good action film. I'm very much looking forward to that. That maybe will start March or April. So look, I've got quite a few projects coming out. I've got probably 6 films to be released this year as well. So yeah, look, I'm busy.
Sometimes you would probably also need to say no, right? If you get cast or are successful at so many castings, does it happen that you need to turn a role offer down?
Yes, that happened in September, I think, maybe October. I had a movie coming up. I knew it was about to start, and I was offered 2 other roles. And even though I didn't know when the movie was about to start, I needed to keep my calendar clear. So I turned down 2 movies.
And how's that for you?
It's a shame. It's a shame. I don't like turning down work. Sometimes look, you do auditions and then you just pray that they don't clash because you've got 2 great projects there. And if they clash, you have to then pick between the projects which one it is you want to do. So I've been lucky where some of the films have been rescheduled to suit my schedule. So I've been very, very lucky so far. But I'm sure it's going to happen a lot. I'm sure it's going to happen where I have to pick between projects that are shooting at the same time.
Yeah, I'm probably still preferably that way around than the other way around. So.
Well, yeah, absolutely,
absolutely,
absolutely. Yeah. It's a lovely problem to have, isn't it? To choose between the film offers that you've had.
Having a choice is not easy, but it's definitely the thing where freedom comes from, right? We're not needy, we're not dependent. We have a choice. So that's
and I do turn down films because I'm at the situation now where I've got a good body of work behind me and I've got a decent profile. So people are coming to me with offers that I think that ain't necessarily for me. I don't really want to get involved in that one. So. Which is a wonderful thing because 3 years ago I would have snatched your arm off for anything you were giving me. But you've got to evolve as you grow. Yeah. So as you climb the ladder, you have to start looking at the jobs you were taking on. That's not for me.
So that's a journey in itself. Then in the end, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about growing and learning and
finding,
evolving every step of the way.
With the flow. Maybe a last question for you. What would you like to win an award for?
What would I like to win an award for? I mean, look, if winning an award for acting is I guess a wonderful thing. I've been nominated for an award in Hollywood. Winning an award for acting is it's a lovely thing to think of, but it's not. I don't feel that it's something I need. If I was going to win an award for anything, I'd like it to be maybe something for my business that I've created, something that I've created, something my business, vShowcards. I've created this. I've helped a lot of people. I help people all day, every day. So maybe somewhere down the line, someone will look at that business and go, do you know what? That changed the industry. It genuinely did help a lot of people. And it's something, my creation. Winning an award for acting is a wonderful thing, but all I'm doing is reading someone else's work and then giving my version of it. Where if I was to win anything on vShowcards, maybe an enterprise award or something, that would mean more to me because it's something I've created. It's my idea. I created, I evolved, I grew, and it became a thing. So that is all down to my own hard work. So if I was going to win an award for anything, I'd like it to be that.
A bit like an own child, right? It's growing and you're adding.
Honestly, it's a wonderful thing to see this thing that I just had an idea about. And then I created it. I created some designs and I created this, I created that. And now we've got, 1,000 people using this idea.
Very nice. Yeah,
it's a wonderful feeling. That's my baby. I've created this. I've grown it and nurtured it and changed it where I needed to. And so that would be the biggest honor.
Very nice. Thank you so much for that. And we can't wait to see how your creations develop. Wishing you all the best and enjoy. I mean, which you for sure will. That's all I can say.
I'm definitely going to enjoy it, yes.
Thank you so much for the conversation today, Darren.
Reggie, I very much appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.